I just got out of watching Weapons. This is the long-awaited horror movie or follow-up to Barbarian. And going into this, I wanted to avoid all trailers. I only saw that little teaser they put out earlier this year. Didn't watch the official trailer. I didn't want to know anything about this movie going in. And just seeing the word of mouth of this movie, just a lot of people calling it the best horror movie of the year, giving it a lot of 5-star praise, and just all of that got me really excited. And I was already excited for this, just kind of not knowing what to expect. And I was surprised. I'm very surprised. Now, I will say, off rip, if you're going into this, go into this with your own expectations. Don't so much go off of what you see on social media. If you see a lot of people praising it, that's cool. Just keep it in mind. Just keep your own expectations. Not to say that this movie was disappointing, but I could see somebody going into this with very high expectations, expecting the scariest movie of all time, and just to be disappointed, because that happens a lot with horror movies. You kind of have to go into it with your own kind of mindset and whatnot. With that being said, let's talk about this story. So pretty much the premise of this movie, if you haven't heard already, is there's 17 kids that just go missing out of this classroom at exactly 2:17 a.m. at night. And I really like how this movie opens up with a kid just narrating this in a really creepy kind of tone, but also very playful, very childish. It just really sets the tone. The thing that was interesting to me about this movie is how they decided to tell this story. And I feel like it works, and it might not work for everybody, you know what I'm saying, across the board. I'm gonna have to wait and see, and just to see more people's reaction to this. But the pacing is very slow at the beginning, because it takes this approach of showing you different POVs. That's how it's kind of broken up. And then as we get introduced to different characters and we get their perspective, things start to connect and we get to see what's actually kind of going on. What I will give this movie credit for is just hiding exactly what that is and why these kids went missing, and who is or what is behind that is what makes this movie very intriguing to watch. It's a very bold way to kind of tell a story. It's not different as well as, like, we've seen this before, like Quentin Tarantino does this with, like, you know, Pulp Fiction. You could kind of like liken it to that, where we see it from different POVs. You got Julia Gardner's character in this, Justine. She is the teacher where the kids went missing. But there was one kid that didn't go missing, and his name goes by the name of Alex. That's all I'll say about him. But he's a very important character in this. And I like how the whole town kind of has flipped on Justine and kind of made her this villain, or villainized her. And everybody wants to point the fingers, while like the cops aren't really doing as much as they should, where there's 17 kids kind of missing for about a month or so now. And it's just like everybody's trying to act like this didn't happen. And there's other parents, Josh Brolin's character, where he really wants to get to the bottom of this. And I like Josh Brolin's character in this. I haven't seen him in a lot of different horror movies, but it was really fitting for his character to kind of play this very protective father, you know, going as far as sleeping in his kid's room every night and whatnot. And we have all these other characters like Paul, he's the cop, and then James. James is personally like my favorite, but just how it all interconnects, I feel like, is what makes this movie really work. It really builds up to the big moments of this movie. And one thing I thought that this movie was going to be about, I thought it was more so going to be about the kids. Now, it is about the kids, but I was saying, like, I thought they were going to do what they did at the end. I thought that was going to be how a lot of these adults get taken out and stuff and whatnot. But I was completely wrong about that, and that's fine. And I think going into it, and the more I think about this movie, I want to watch it again. I really like it. I really enjoy it. Now, is it the best horror movie of the year? No, I don't think so. I don't think it, but I definitely think it's one of the best ones this year. It's very original. I appreciate that. Is it better than Barbarian? I think I walked out of Barbarian enjoying that a little bit more than Weapons, but like I said, Weapons just came out. I want to see it for a second time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did it meet your expectations? Did you avoid the trailers and just go into it blind? Or, were you disappointed? Do you think this movie was overhyped and it just didn't meet your expectations? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Till next time, I am out. Peace.